Hey, my name is Lauren Melissa, and I am coming to you with Unmasked, her story raw and uncut. And my story is a story of two things, a story of provision and a story of grace. Two things that literally were handed to me in moments and times where I either felt like I didn't deserve it or times where I felt like I was unworthy, and God had provided for me and given me grace during those moments. There are so many different things that I could tell you about because in each phase of my life, I feel like I've had to overcome something major, which literally prepared me for my next. But I just want to share with you one thing that I had to overcome, which I think is relevant for this time that we're in. This COVID-19 thing is so real with the sickness, with the uncertainty, with the economy. Some of us have lost our jobs and even lost loved ones. And so I just want to share a story with you about a time that was really, really difficult. And it felt very similar to what most and many are feeling today. So it was about 2018 when I felt the unction of God to leave my job. I had been in this job for literally my whole professional life. I was 27 at the time, and by the time I made the decision to leave, I ended up turning 28. But I was literally in the thick of it. Like, my parents were bragging about me. People were like, she's really doing a good thing. But I had really made the hard decision to leave my job after being there for almost 10 years. I had a really good salary. Just a couple years prior, I had purchased a home by myself. No family where I'm from. I just said, look, this is where I'm going to be. I love what I do. And so I had the mortgage, I had a car note, I obviously had bills, insurance, everything that you can think of that people have when they're adulting. I had every single bill, including credit card bills. But I ended up printing out the letter and I gave it to them. I didn't give a 2 weeks notice, more like months notice, right? So I did say that I would leave after I concluded the school year, because I did work at a university, and I didn't want to leave selfishly because I knew that students depended on me. So I said I'll finish out the school year, no problem. Well, I gave them my letter and gave them more than enough head space, time to either start a new search and maybe do like a really smooth handoff to where I can help train somebody. But to my surprise, they were like, "Oh, you giving us this letter? You can go right now," basically. And I was like, "Wait, I didn't plan for this." I had a trip coming up, so I gave my letter of resignation like the middle of, I think it was middle of March. And then I was going to Alabama on a vacation to Orange Beach. Girl, y'all, I literally went on this Orange Beach vacation with no job. And the little money that I did have, I had to save because I left that job with no job lined up. You heard it right. I had no job lined up. My parents thought I was crazy. My dad was like livid. And if you have older parents, they'll tell you like, you don't leave a job unless you have another one. And here I was leaving a job with no job. But I was just like, you all don't know the inner peace that I feel. If you're a millennial, you know what I'm talking about, because it's nothing about that feeling of liberation when you leave a job and you be like, I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. So here I was, no job. Yes, I was applying for jobs because I was freaking out. Like, I don't want to be that person that called a mortgage company like, "Oh, hi, I can't afford my house." And that was my biggest accomplishment aside from like getting that really cool job. So, I literally was jobless for 2 months. I had my benefits and stuff were running out. Like, June was like the last, I think it was like June 1st is when it cut off. Okay. So I'm literally hustling, like, oh, like, what am I creative in? What can I create? And like, I even thought of myself as an entrepreneur. And like, entrepreneurship is hard. So shout out to y'all who are entrepreneurs. But I've dibbled and dabbled in that. And I have much respect for all the Black businesses that are thriving right now. Yes, salute to you. But back to my story. During that time, I was jobless. So what I did was I spent my time decompressing by building my own website. I built my website. I said, I need to share my story. In addition to me leaving my job, I did go through some things in undergrad that really impacted how I felt about myself in that moment. Self-doubt, fear, just my self-esteem was super low. I didn't think super highly of myself. It was just all messed up. And it all stemmed from things that happened in the past. So I had to reconcile that. But here I was in this moment, and I said a way of therapy for me is to do a blog. So I started writing about some experiences that I ran into throughout the course of my time being unemployed, right? Some things that I was feeling that, hey, maybe I didn't think other people understood, but I need to get this out some kind of way. And I couldn't afford therapy at the time because I had no job. Tommy, what? So I didn't have a job. So here I am writing a blog, built my website, and I'm like shooting it out to people. Read this. Hey, subscribe here. I really want y'all to really be a part of this journey with me. And I am in a sorority. I was super active, and I went to MC an event that we had. And one of the attendees basically saw me and was like, hey, there's a job opening that I know about, and I think she'd be great. Awesome. And so here I was about to enter into the K-12 world. So I just came from higher ed. Now I'm walking into K-12 in a different capacity for a nonprofit. And I'm like, whoa, like, okay, am I ready for this? So here I was just basically about to enter into a new realm. I ended up getting the position, and guess what? I got hired on June 4. So remember I told you, everything stopped on June 1st. My start date was June 4th. Man, like God did not waste his time, provision and grace. So he gave me the grace to really get through everything that I had gone through undergrad, through my work stuff, work drama, through my personal drama. He continuously provided me grace. And with grace, I was able to continue my walk, continue my journey, and provision, because I never went without. During that 2 months, he literally just sent me resources. I can recall during the 2 months, I just didn't want to open up any mail. I was like, if I open up mail, it's gonna be a bill, and I don't got it. So one day, my mail was getting sky high, y'all, and I was like, okay, I have to start looking through it. And I saw a piece of mail, and it was a letter saying, hey, we sent you a check and you didn't deposit it. Did you lose it? Like, do we need to like recall that check and send you another one? And I'm like, wait, what? So here I am scrambling through this large lump of mail, and I find a check for I think it was like $1,200 or $1,500. And I was like, Lord, what? I literally didn't have no money, y'all. And then here comes this check, and it was nothing but the Lord. Like, talk about right on time. And so I share that with you because, I mean, we're in the days, right, where God has so much room, so much space to do what he does best, and that is bless us and provide for us and continuously give us grace. All we need to do is practice and conjure up the faith that's inside of us. So if you believe that he is our Savior, and you believe that he's a provider and a healer, a sustainer, he will be that for you. And in that time, in that moment, I definitely believe that, and I still do today. And I think that's why I have so much peace right now with COVID-19 and all that is happening. I'm not safe from it. Like, I did not get sick, thank God. I have not gotten sick, but my job did cut my pay by 20%. And I went from working 5 days to 4 days. And the little side job that I got, furloughed. So I definitely felt the sting of being impacted by something that's much larger than us. So 2 things that I can share with you is that you do have provision and you have grace. And make sure you just like tap into it. You got this. Overcoming this pandemic is nothing. So strut and share your story. Share your story of how you overcame. I can't wait to hear about it. It's Lauren Melissa. And make sure you go follow me on YouTube, Instagram, and check me out on my website. It is laurenmelissaspeaks.com.